Hi everybody, thank you for being here. This is Mairi, the Autistic Astrologer. If it's your first time here, be sure to like and subscribe. You can find me on social media at mmhealingservices or at the Autistic Astrologer on Facebook and on YouTube. Today we're going to do a cosmic update for the full moon in Leo happening on January 28th, 2021. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the cosmos, so I apologize for my delay in cosmic updates, but I'm dealing with my own stuff and kind of in my own hermit mode for a time being to reassess. But as we get into this full moon, it is packed with energy, so I wanted to make sure to get a video out for you guys, just to have an idea of what exactly is happening and how it may show up for you. You can check in the description below for timestamps if you want to zoom through to the stuff that you're interested in. But we're just going to kind of go through what this energy looks like. And remember that energy can show up for you based on your specific birth chart. So this energy is going to hit people differently. Specifically, this is going to hit people hard if you have a lot of fixed sign energy. And that's pretty much the theme of 2021 and going into 2022. People with heavy fixed signs in their charts have a lot of squaring energy, which is uncomfortable, tension, anxiety, etc. But comes great growth through these square aspects that you'll be feeling as well. So we're going to break that down for a little bit as we move forward. But overall, this full moon is bringing us a time to be able to come back into ourselves, come back into our center. Leo is all about the heart. Leo is about finding the joy within us and how we can find the joy surrounding us as well. Obviously, there are shadow sides to Leo, which get us too out of reality and into our own selves in a bit of a self-centered way. But there is a beautiful exchange that can happen when we balance all of the Aquarian energy that we have right now with the Leo full moon energy that's going to be coming, that fullness of heart mixed with the Aquarian mind. So we have so much air happening all year that it can be really anxious, overwhelming, tension, so much happening up here. We're trying to figure things out. We're trying to learn different things. We're shifting and moving and deciding. We're changing our perspectives. We're recognizing what's true and what's not true and how we can move forward. So there's so many things happening, especially in our minds. So this is a full moon where we're able to come back into our bodies, come back into our hearts, and really find fullness within that and find our creativity and celebrate our uniqueness as we move into this phase of Aquarian energy where we're going to be asked to find our uniqueness and live and celebrate that. And this full moon is really the ability to celebrate yourself and your truth and what you have to bring, and pulling it into the Aquarian energy of sharing, how you can share those talents and share those things about you with the community, with the collective. And so there's this balancing aspect that always happens with a full moon, right? Because we have the moon and the sun across from each other in our chart. And so there's this balance technique that's happening between Aquarius and Leo right now. When we talk about full moons, they're cycles on top of cycles. So we have the cycle from the last new moon, which happened on the 13th of January in Capricorn, and it had that conjunction with Pluto. So it was a really rough new moon for a lot of people. That was the beginning of a cycle. So we're going to see something from that coming to fruition from the plants or the seeds that we planted there. We may not see that yet, but it is in the works. It is a cycle in the works. This is also going to tie back to the new moon in Leo that happened on August 18th, 2020. So if you tie this cycle back to something that happened around that time, seeds that were planted around that new moon cycle may be coming to fruition. You may be seeing things changing or shifting or coming into their fullness as we reach this Leo full moon that may have started back in that new moon Leo in August. So those are just two of the cycles that that could be happening, but there's so many other aspects and things going on. Again, it really depends on your specific chart. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me on any of my platforms. I will help you with all the time and the space that I have. You can also get a free chart at astro.com. You can shoot it to me on any of my social media platforms, and I can help kind of guide you on where that is. You can also find me on Facebook at the Autistic Astrologer, where sometimes I'll open up those conversations as well for you to kind of have that dialogue. So if you need help, I will provide as much of it as I can, is basically what I'm saying. If you want to schedule something with me, I would be honored to give you a reading, a transit reading, help you learn astrology or any of the other things. So I'd love to connect with you. Just reach out to me at any time. Okay, so back to the moon. So this Leo full moon, it's all about coming back into our heart, taking a break from all of the mind and the mental stuff that has been happening. But there are a ton of square aspects happening within this energy. So there's still going to be a lot of anxious tension that is in the air and in the energy field. And that's not really going to go away. So this is an invitation to step into the body to kind of shut those things off for a little bit, because our bodies need to catch up with what's happening in our minds. And, you know, it's a time where we're going to illuminate. So full moons illuminate feelings and emotions. So things are going to be coming up. We have Pluto in a conjunction with Venus, and that's going to give us the opportunity to dig deeper into what it is that isn't enough for us. Where have we given our power away? It's going to be a whole cycle that's going to set off the next year. There's another conjunction at the end of 2021 that is going to have this same play. So what's coming up here is going to be happening in this cycle, and we're going to get to revisit it again at the end of the year. So this would be a good time to start journaling some of the things that are coming up here, so that we can go back at the end of the year and see the progress and the growth that has come from what is happening here. So again, just a couple of the things that happen here. Leo energy is all about finding the child within you, the innocence, the connection to your body, living, finding that energy that really helps you live in your fullness, right? The Leo energy is all about life, that life-giving energy. And it's mixed with self-expression and creativity and being able to really, find what brings fullness to your heart and allow that to just expand through everything that you do. So again, bringing that balance to the mind energy that's been happening. I don't know if you can hear, my husband just got home. So in this energy with this moon, there's 7 out of 10 of the major astrological planets that are in fixed signs. When we have planets in fixed signs are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. So we have Saturn, we have the Sun, we have Jupiter and Mercury that are all in Aquarius right now. We have Mars and Uranus that are coming off of their tight conjunction in Taurus, and then we have the Moon in Leo. We don't have anything in Scorpio right now, but at the end of the year, Scorpio will play their role as well. So this is a heavy, heavy, heavy fixed sign year. So again, people with heavy fixed sign charts will be feeling this more so than other people generally. But when we have so many planets in the same modality, so fixed or cardinal or mutable are 3 modalities. So when we have all of these planets in the same modality, it causes a lot of friction, because when we have a square, this is what we call squares. So when we have a square aspect, that is friction. That is not understanding someone else's point of view. So imagine we have this like square. Okay, you get what a square is, but you can't see around the corner, right? So we can't see other people's perspective. We're fixed in what we see. We're fixed in our minds. So in this energy, we're being pushed out of what we know. We're being pushed out of what we thought the truth was, what we thought our journeys were, and we're being pushed in these different ways. And with all the fixed energy, it makes it even more uncomfortable to do so. And so with that, there's the opportunity for major growth, but there is the opportunity for a lot of overwhelm and a lot of just very uncomfortable tension in the air. And that has been happening and will continue to happen, again, because we have so many planets in fixed signs. As we move into February, we're going to have Venus that enters into Aquarius on the 1st of February. And, you know, we're going to have all of those planets still there, and then Venus on top of that. So, there's a lot of tension that's going to continue to happen, and we're going to see that happening. The moon is opposing those Aquarius signs, and opposition is can be a good thing, but it can also be completely opposite sides, not being able to see the other side of the perspective, and it can be a very uncomfortable clashing of energies. But with a full moon, it can also be very nurturing and illuminating and comforting. So those are obviously the energies that we want to try to key into as we think about that Leo heart and coming back into yourself and being able to feel your pulse going through your body and really coming into your center and out of that mind Aquarian energy that has a lot of people really tense and really anxious in these moments. So on top of the fixed sign energy, we also have Venus that is going to conjunct Pluto exact on the 28th, so the same day as the full moon. And with that energy, we're really talking about not being okay with what is here, with what is being offered, with what is on the surface, knowing that there's more to dig through, knowing that there's deeper places that we need to go. And Venus is all about our desires, our love, our relationships, what, makes us feel good. And so when it's paired with Pluto, Pluto's an outer planet, and it's the one of decay and destruction and resurfacing. It's the phoenix coming up from the ashes. And when we have it with an inner planet, which Venus is an inner planet, when we have those together in a conjunction, it's something that's bringing permanent change to our life. So when we have Venus, our goals and our desires and our relationships and our love and our passions coming together with the destructor of Pluto, they're wanting to bring up all of these things that are sometimes not comfortable to kind of look at, right? We're being asked to be honest about what our truth is and where we have allowed our power to be given away. So Capricorn is about power and structure and systems, right? So where have we allowed people to take our power away? Where have we been giving our resources that isn't giving us anything in return, right? So we're asking to dig deeper into that work that Venus has been doing through the last couple months. So there is the possibility for eruption here around this conjunction. This conjunction can be heavy, it can be difficult, but it's asking us to be honest about what is in front of us, and is it where we want to be, and is it where we want to go, and what actually has to be done to do that. So Venus in Capricorn is ready for a plan to move forward. How do I get out of this? Like, this is honestly where we are, right? So it hits up with Pluto, and more underbody stuff comes up, and then we have to deal with it, and Venus is ready to deal with it in Capricorn. So it's a good time to do shadow work around any of those aspects. So in Capricorn, right, we can hit on authority, we can hit on power, we can hit on money. So there's all kinds of different ways that we can do shadow work around this conjunction. And like I mentioned earlier, this conjunction is going to happen again at the end of 2021. So what's coming up here is going to be a cycle that we get to revisit at the end of the year. So again, a good time to start journaling so that we can kind of track where we are and where we're going, when we get there. So just a little bit about that. And then on top of this energy, we also have the long-standing square between the moon nodes and Neptune. So the nodes are about karmic energies, where we're going and where we came from. Neptune is about illusions, confusions, escapism, addictions. So this is a time where we're really reconstructing what we know to be true. What is fantasy? Are we living in a fantasy? Are they living in a fantasy, right? What is the truth? What are the lies that we have been told, right? Where can we find our own truth? We're being asked, Neptune is about, spirituality and religions coming up with the nodes in Sagittarius, right? So we're re-philosophizing, right? We're thinking about our education. We're thinking about what we've learned and what stays, right? And what needs to go. So with Neptune there, though, it's confusing, right? We still don't see everything in clarity. We still don't understand what is true and what is not true, right? So with this square coming exact on the 27th and the 28th, you know, we're still unsure of what our truth is, and nothing is as it seems, right? As we move, so the next 6 months, that square is going to loosen. And as that happens, the veil continues to come back, and we continue to see more and more and more of what the truth is. But the importance with this is to recognize that we're just now hitting that exact square. So there is still so much to uncover that we don't see yet. So there's a lot of faith-based decisions that are going to be made, right? So that's the importance of coming into your truth and finding your heart and what matters to you and what brings you joy. And also being able to come in to that space to be able to find and listen to your intuition. So as we move past the full moon, I would be remiss to not talk about Mercury retrograde that's happening 2 days after. So on the 30th, Mercury officially goes retrograde. So the shadow has already happened. But with Mercury going into retrograde, it's a time to reassess, to rediscuss and rediscover how we handle our communication and perception around things. It's in Aquarius, so we're talking about social media, we're talking about networking, we're talking about the internet, we're talking about television, we're talking about all of these different Aquarian and Uranian energies that are coming about to be reassessed. So there's going to be another cosmic update on Mercury retrograde, but I just wanted to note it because this energy is very prevalent here already, because the shadow phase has already happened. So we've already started feeling some of that retrograde stuff happening. The other piece, and the only real like positive aspect, honestly, like is a trine that we have with the moon and Chiron. But when we talk about Chiron, Chiron in and of itself is a difficult placement in our chart because it's known as our wounded healer. It can bring us a lot of joy and healing, but it can also be very painful. When we have the moon, it's our emotions, it's our inner world. And so when they're forming a trine, it's bringing the opportunity of healing, but it's also going to bring up a lot of emotion. So this moon, a full moon is normally emotional, right? But with a trine to Chiron, it's really shedding a nice like spotlight on some of these wounds that we have been harboring and working through. And now it's time to kind of step into this new pattern through those. So definitely an opportunity to heal, but not something that I would necessarily say is a normal trine comforting aspect. So again, a lot happening, a lot of energy, and it's all going to depend on where it falls in your chart. So if you have any questions on that, I would invite you to take the day to allow your feelings and allow your emotions when you can. Start journaling. If you don't journal, even if it's just writing like 1 or 2 words a day, just to sum up your day, to sum up your feelings, or something to be able to come back and recognize the growth and the work that you're doing from cycle to cycle. You know, a lot of my clients find it's comforting to track their moon cycles and how they react to different parts in the moon cycle. If you're interested in more than that, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, you can contact me on Facebook and on YouTube at the Autistic Astrologer. You can also search me on social media at mmhealingservices. Thank you so much for being here, and we will connect and talk soon. Thanks.